Welcome to the AI for Career Success podcast by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition.
That is exactly what we are here to do.
I am your host, Fred Jones.
And I'm Daphne Glick.
And this is episode 179. We have a really fascinating discussion lined up for you today. We're looking ahead. Specifically, we're exploring a piece that dropped on December 30, 2025. It's titled 50-ish AI Predictions for 2026.
Right. This was an article on LinkedIn by the author Nathaniel Whittemore.
Whittemore is always great at spotting the signal and all the noise. And, 50 predictions it's a lot.
It is. It's a huge list.
But Daphne, you mentioned before we started recording that looking at these isn't just about guessing. It's about positioning.
Exactly, Fred. I mean, if you see where things are headed, you can position your career to be there when it all arrives. We're not going to, read through all 50 points today.
Hey.
Instead, our mission for this analysis is to really synthesize the biggest trends from his list, the ones that fundamentally change how we work and how we build things.
I love that. Let's get right into it then. The first big theme that jumped out at me from the text was this idea of vibe.
Yes.
It sounds a bit, a little fluffy, like we're talking about social media trends. But he's using it in a very specific way here.
He is, and it's really interesting. It's his prediction number 3, which talks about how model preference is becoming vibe-based.
Okay, let's break that down. Vibe-based.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean for, say, a company choosing its tech stack?
Well, think about how we've judged AI models for the past few years. It was all about rigid benchmarks.
Yeah, like this one scores an 85% on this test, so it's better.
Exactly. A total numbers game. But Whitmore's point is that we've sort of hit a quality plateau. When all the top models, GPT, Claude, Gemini, are all smart enough, that objective betterness just matters less.
So the differentiation just kind of vanishes.
The technical differentiation narrows. And so the choice becomes about personality. It's about which model's answers you just prefer. Is it confident? Is it concise? Is it conversational? It's like picking a coworker, Fred. You don't always pick the one with the highest test score. You pick the one you can actually work with.
That's a huge shift for developers then.
Yeah.
You're not just optimizing for accuracy anymore. You're optimizing for a certain feel.
Precisely. And that connects right into his next prediction, number 4. Because text is becoming so hard to differentiate.
Meaning all the models write pretty well now.
Right. So there's this massive new emphasis on multimodal capability.
Multimodal. Let's just define that for everyone listening.
Sure. It just means the AI can handle more than one type of communication, not just text in, text out. It's about seeing images, hearing your voice, even generating video. If the text quality is all roughly the same, the vibe comes from how the model sees, hears, and speaks to you. That's the new battleground.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, sticking with this vibe idea, he used another term that I found really provocative, vibe coding.
Yes, vibe coding. This is prediction number 11.
Now, I have to play devil's advocate here, Daphne. We have been hearing about the no-code revolution for, a decade?
At least.
And every few years, someone says coding is dead, but developer salaries just keep going up. So why is this time different?
That is the right question to ask, but there's a fundamental difference. Old no-code tools were rigid. You were basically just assembling pre-made blocks.
Like a text box here, a button there.
Exactly. And if you wanted something unique, you were just stuck. Vibe coding is different because the engine underneath is natural language. You're not dragging blocks. You're describing what you want.
So it's the death of syntax.
In a way, yes. Whittemore suggests this whole field is splitting in two. On one path, you have professional engineers using AI to write code cleaner and faster, but they still understand the logic.
Okay.
But the other path, that's for the rest of us. You aren't writing lines of Python. You're describing a vibe, a set of behaviors, a look and feel, and the AI just translates that into software.
So the skill becomes less about memorizing libraries and more about just clearly describing a problem.
Correct. And this leads to what might be the most disruptive idea in the whole list, personal software, or what he also calls ephemeral software.
Ephemeral, meaning short-lived. That sounds wasteful.
It's actually purely practical. Prediction 14 talks about a world where people build small, disposable little apps for themselves. Say you have a specific problem like organizing a family reunion this weekend.
Right. And usually I'd go to the App Store, find something that costs $5 a month, and it only does half of what I actually need.
Exactly. The old model is software as a service. big, heavy, subscription-based. The new model is more like software as a utility. You tell the AI to build you a tool that does exactly what you need, you use it for the weekend, and then you just delete it. You toss it.
That is wild. It completely flips the economics. If software is disposable, what happens to the entire SaaS industry?
They have to adapt. Prediction 15 is about the rise of the AI app entrepreneur, but the model is different. It's a move away from subscription fatigue. Instead of paying forever, you might just pay a one-time cost for a hyper-specific tool that does one thing perfectly.
Sounds like a return to the old shareware days, but on steroids. So if I can vibe code my own website, do I even need the big website builders anymore?
And that's the billion-dollar question. Prediction 16 is basically a warning shot for companies like Wix and Squarespace.
Those are huge companies.
Huge. But think about the friction. Even with those tools, you're still dragging and dropping things. The prediction is people will just go to tools like Replit or Lovable and just tell them what they want. Make me a portfolio site that looks like a 1980s video game. And it's just done.
Speed wins. But did he mention any survivors in that space?
He did. Shopify.
Great.
Prediction 17 argues Shopify becomes uniquely important because it's not just about the website. It's about the physical world.
Logistics. Inventory.
Exactly. Helping someone selling handmade candles manage their inventory and shipping. AI can generate the code for a website, but it can't drive the delivery truck. Not yet, anyway. That's a real-world moat.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So the tools are changing. But let's zoom out. Most of our listeners work in larger organizations.
Yeah.
How does this 2026 outlook change the enterprise landscape?
It shifts from the wow phase to the how much money is this actually making us phase.
The inevitable return of ROI. The party's over.
The accountants have arrived. And Prediction 21 calls 2026 the year of the dashboard.
Year of the dashboard. That sounds thrilling.
I know, it sounds a little dry, but for anyone thinking about their career, this is gold. Companies are going to be obsessed with benchmarking. They'll want to know, we spent $1 million on Copilot. Did we get $1 million in productivity back?
And do we know how to measure that?
Well, that's the catch. Prediction 22 says there won't be any agreed-upon standards yet. It's going to be the Wild West of metrics. Every department will have its own chart proving they're saving time.
So chaos. But chaos creates opportunity.
100%. If you're in middle management right now, this is your opening. Leadership is desperate for these dashboards. If you can be the one who defines the standard for your department, you make yourself indispensable.
That's a great takeaway. Don't wait to be measured. Go build the yardstick. Now, Daphne, Prediction 19 highlighted a specific new job title I have to ask about. Forward Deployed Vibers.
Forward Deployed Vibers. It sounds like science fiction, doesn't it?
It does. What do they do?
Think of them as internal fixers. Their job is to go into different departments, HR, sales, whatever, and help those teams use AI-enabled coding to solve their own specific problems.
So they're not traditional IT. They're more like translators.
Exactly. They bridge that gap between a business problem and what the AI can actually build. The prediction is that this kind of work gets vibified. We shift from doing the work to managing the AI that does the work.
Which I guess leads to a squeeze on automation. Prediction 25 was a bit counterintuitive to me.
It is. It's nuanced. We're talking about the simple Zapier-style automations.
Right. The if this happens, then do that kind of triggers.
Yes. That rigid automation gets squeezed from two sides. On one side, you have co-pilots helping you in the moment. On the other side, you have agents.
And the agents are smart enough to figure out the steps themselves.
Correct. You don't need to hard code it. You just tell an agent, manage my invoices. And if the agent can figure out a better, faster way to do it, the old automation just becomes obsolete.
That's a profound shift. We stop optimizing processes and start optimizing outcomes.
That is the perfect way to put it, Fred.
You know, we have so much more to get through, including the big horse race between OpenAI and Google and everyone else. But first, let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Curt Robbins.
Hi, this is Curt Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the AI for Career Success podcast. We are breaking down Nathaniel Whittemore's 50-ish AI predictions for 2026.
Let's get into it. Who's winning in 2026? Well, it's getting complicated. Let's start with OpenAI. Prediction 29 is fascinating. Whittemore argues that their biggest challenge is fragmented attention.
Fragmented how?
They're fighting on three fronts. They want the big enterprise contracts, they're trying to solve AGI, and they want to be the #1 consumer app. And balancing all three is incredibly difficult. And there's a specific detail in there that might really annoy some people.
Oh no, what is it?
Ads. The prediction is that we will start seeing ads in ChatGPT.
Really? Ads?
Making it feel like Meta 2.0.
Wow, that totally changes the incentive structure. If you're selling ads, you're not optimizing for the best answer anymore. You're optimizing for time on site.
Exactly, and that just cracks the door open for competitors. Which brings us to Anthropic. Prediction 28 says their lead in coding is really hard to shake.
That's the developer lock-in we talked about earlier.
Yes. Developers are creatures of habit. Once they're comfortable with Claude for their coding work, the switching cost is really high. The prediction is Microsoft might even do a bigger deal with them.
Interesting. Hedging their bets against their OpenAI investment.
Always. And then there's the big one, Google, or Alphabet. Prediction 39 is bold. It suggests that if Google starts selling their TPUs externally, tensor processing units, they're Google's custom AI chips. If they start selling those chips like NVIDIA does, and if the Gemini models keep improving, Alphabet could become the biggest company in the world.
Bigger than Apple. That is a huge call.
It is. And speaking of global players, we have to talk about China. Prediction 32 notes that Chinese models are powering a growing number of wrappers and startups globally.
And wrappers are those apps that are just a thin layer on top of a big AI model, right?
Exactly. The app looks slick, but it's just making an API call to a big model. And the prediction is that a lot of those might be running on Chinese models like DeepSeek under the hood, mainly because of cost and efficiency.
Okay, so that brings up a lot of other questions. Now, usually this whole conversation is about things getting faster, better, cheaper. Is there any pushback? Is a counterculture forming?
There absolutely is. This is where the society predictions get really interesting. Prediction 40 talks about the emergence of artisanal non-AI.
Artisanal non-AI.
Hmm?
I could already picture the label. Sounds like something you'd buy at a farmer's market.
It's that exact concept, just applying to information. The same way we pay more for organic food, there's going to be a premium on AI-free networks and human-made certifications.
Made by a human is going to be a luxury brand.
It will be. It's a way to signal authenticity. If AI can generate 1,000 emails a minute, a handwritten note becomes incredibly valuable.
So a good career strategy might be to lean into your humanity. But looking at the wider workforce, it's not all good news, is it?
No, we have to talk about layoffs. Prediction 42, it suggests that all layoffs will start being attributed to AI.
All of them, even if it's just a bad quarter.
That's the prediction. Companies will use AI as the excuse for forward positioning.
I see. So instead of we missed our targets, it's we're pivoting to an AI-first structure.
Exactly. It sounds better to shareholders. It's cynical, but you need to be aware that AI will be the headline, even if it isn't the real reason.
And finally, Daphne, we have to talk about the physical world. AI lives in the cloud, but the cloud is made of computers, and they get hot.
They get very, very hot. Prediction 41 says data center politics are going to become a midterm election issue in 2026.
Data centers as a political issue, I wouldn't have predicted that.
Well, think about the scale. These things consume massive amounts of power and water for cooling.
Right.
And local communities are starting to push back, asking why their water should be used to train some model. The bottleneck for tech might not be code. It could be a town council refusing a building permit.
And there's a money angle here, too.
Yes, prediction 36. The financial markets are getting nervous about financing these massive projects. If the money gets tight, the whole AI build-out slows down. It's not just code, it's concrete and electricity.
Wow. We have covered a massive amount of ground here, from vibe coding to political battles over server farms. If you had to summarize the big shift for 2026, what is it?
I think the summary is that we're moving past the novelty phase. 2026 isn't about, wow, look at this cool new tech. It's about how do we measure it, how do we manage it, and how do we build with it. It's becoming operational.
Operational. That's the key word. And for everyone listening, that is where the opportunity is. You don't have to invent the next AI. You can be that forward-deployed Viber. You can be that AI app entrepreneur.
Or just the person who knows how to build the dashboard and explain the ROI. That's where the career success is going to be.
I love it. Well, that brings us to the end of our discussion on the 2026 predictions. Thank you for listening to the AI for Career Success podcast from Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.